The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tokucast Reviews, episode 95.
I'm glad we caught that early.
Yeah, so am I.
Caught what? Cut that out. Moving on. Welcome to the episode about Garo VR.
Yes.
Tech stuff, fun stuff.
Yes. Yes. All about virtual reality. The actual name of the show is Versus Road. It is the most recent
Garo Battle Royale.
That's exactly what it is. Start off with 100, end with 1.
So we'll start where we always start our reviews. What do we think of the opening?
It exists.
It's music.
It is Gregorian chanting.
Thoroughly unremarkable.
It
sounds just like that.
It's extremely average for Garo.
Yeah. I don't mind Gregorian chants, I don't know, like them to be better.
I don't go out of my way to listen to them. So.
Fair enough.
Alright, so what happens?
Well, let's start
Plot.
with
Alright, that's the next step. We talk about the plot.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Because you seem to be all over the place this morning.
I just carried a bunch of furniture and lumber into my front yard and took it to the dump. I'm exhausted, okay?
R.I.P.
That's all it took, wow.
Being up at 7 a.m. and...
Anyway. Okay, so really our main story...
Cut my
So,
hair a couple times.
the show opens non-traditionally, shall we say. This
Sure.
whole show, I would say, is non-traditional. And
Yeah.
to begin with, I want to start off by saying, as with all of our reviews, we're going to spoil the show. So if you have not seen this...
Hold on. Since when do we do that? What?
Because the show just ended 2 weeks ago.
This is a very recent show.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Since when do we do that?
That we finished. So let me finish by saying, I recommend this show gets my highest recommendation. I want to get that out. I want to get that right out of the way now. So if you haven't seen this and have any interest in seeing it, please go watch it. Please give it a chance if you want.
You don't have to watch anything else Garo related to actually go into this.
No, you don't, because once again, this one is set in its own continuity.
Yeah, it's a standalone one, and they did leave more than enough room for a sequel.
I also think this worked as its own continuity. I can't imagine trying to connect it with the others.
No, it's like of course, some thematic elements are there.
Or
the Makai Knights priest.
No, but I mean like actual plot connected.
But our show opens, and our main character, Senequone, he wakes up in a room, he's standing in a room with all these other people, all these other guys, and looking around. Nobody seems to know how they got there, what they're doing there. And he recognizes his friend, because he's a university student, he recognizes his friend Hoshiai, who is also there. And a woman beams in.
Her name is Shuka.
Her name is Shuka, one of two women in the show. Beams in and says, "You are now all going to compete to become the Golden Knight Garo." And like the armor appears like it's the prize at the end of the game.
But it's much more cybernetic this time around. I really like how the armor looks. It looks very cool.
I like how the armor looks too. It's the hints of cyan that they have running throughout it to give it that very cyberpunky look.
Yeah,
looks pretty cool. And then we're off to the races.
Literally.
Pretty much, because it's like, at the end, there are 100 of you. At the end of this, one of you will still be standing, and he will become Garo the Golden Knight, and he will have whatever power he chooses.
Now, the episodes, more or less, are set up in rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because for
the most part.
Yeah, the first episode.
And the first 2 episodes are basically, your numbers, Shuka says, now, for round number 1, your number is going to get cut in half.
Yeah.
And she summons 2 horrors, and it's the traditional, like, rabbit, Donnie Darko-looking ones that we've seen before a bunch of times, except this time they're all CG.
Well, no, they actually aren't CG.
Well,
they're just armored. They're cybernetically armored.
No, I mean, like, in terms of animation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they are CG creations.
But in terms of the suits are there.
But yeah, the suits are there. They're, cybernetic because they are within the game.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone seems really excited. Everyone in this room is cheering. They're on board. They want to be the hero. They want to get whatever power this suit can bring them. And then those 2 horrors jump into the audience and just start ripping people up.
Yep.
They just start killing people.
Then we start focusing on various people. So we have Sena.
Yeah, our shift. We focus shift, and before that really happens, because we have that shot. Because like when we lead into the opening song, it's all them running out of the building, and it's them running through the woods. And the main two that we seem to be focusing on are Kuon and another guy named Amo.
Yep.
Who we meet later, who we learn more about later. And then we do a flashback to the previous day. And in the previous day, we see Hoshiai is in an arcade playing a Garo video game, where he's playing as the first Garo against some other, jerk face, who he beats in the game, and the dude punches the woman he's with.
Yeah!
Because he's frustrated that he lost. Just stands up and freaking decks her in the face.
What's it
just to let you know that he's a jerk. Just in case you weren't sure. And then we cut to, like, I want to make sure I say his name right. Hoshiai, he's kneeling, like, in like, an underpass. The dude's, like, yelling at him about how he's going to make him pay. He's like, you made me punch my woman in the face. You have to pay for that. And then Kwon shows up, beats up this guy, because he's a boxer. Which I like that they don't explicitly tell you.
Yeah, they
one of the things I like about the show is it does a lot of there's a lot of like visual storytelling, because we see inside of his apartment and we just see like boxing gloves hung up.
Show don't tell.
Okay, so we know he's a boxer. Okay, and so we're running through the game. People are getting separated. People are getting killed by the horrors, and they also start killing each other.
Yep.
And
what is his name? Ren. The guy with the knives?
Yeah, Ren Hyuga, who is a runaway serial killer. Serial killer on the run, he gets transported in. But before that, we also find out how we get to the game.
Yes.
Because after Kwon saves Hoshiai, they go out for waffle burgers.
Which, great idea, by the way.
I mean, made me want some.
It was like a waffle chicken burger.
Was it chicken?
Yeah, it was chicken.
It looked like beef to me, but
yeah, they were.
But it was like a cheeseburger, but it was in between two waffles, and it looked delicious.
And I was like, 10 and 10, best show.
But yeah, his Hoshiai tells Kwon that there's this rumor going around of a video game that if you go in this game, this virtual reality, you can have all your desires granted, or something to that effect, and then. Surprise, surprise, what should appear on Kwon's doorstep that night but a case with a set of VR goggles in it. He puts them on, and that's when we flash to the present, where everyone's running around in the sepia-toned game world, and that's where we are introduced to the rest of our cast. We have Amo, who is a former gang member who currently is a bar owner, and he's our co-lead for this show. We have Taisuke Nagumo, aka Nagasuke, who is a streamer, popular YouTube streamer, or YTube, and as they say.
His boss, who was Ho-Oh Soldier from Kyuranger.
Weird.
And then we have Takane Kozuki, who is a model. And is this the first non-binary character we've had in a Garo or a Toku in general?
Not a Toku in general.
That goes 0-1.
Okay.
I thought we had Guy, or is that just the actress for Peach? I thought you told me she was not binary. Oh.
Never said that. No, the first one is Naki from 0-1. Although technically, I guess Tomo came first.
But I want to ask you, Marcus, Tomon, the actor who plays Kozuki, are they non-binary as well?
I have no idea. All I know is beautiful, life-changing. They're the same.
Fair enough. But yeah, they get mistaken for a woman.
Yes.
By someone. That's their big introduction, because when we first see them, they're like huddled away in the corner in the big crowd in the room, and it's like, you look very out of place. What are you doing here? But as the story progresses, we learn that they do have a place to fit in.
Yes,
because they are quite ruthless. But some guy rescues them, and they're like, "Okay, you're going to introduce me to all your hot girlfriends now, right?" He immediately gets killed.
Yeah.
And but episode 1 pretty much ends with the Yakuza showing up, because there are 3 Yakuza members who got pulled into this.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Well, you can tell they're Yakuza because they're wearing disco suits.
Yes, they are
Because
wearing...
at the end of the episode, they go disco suit power activate, and they just start murdering people.
Yeah.
They just... One of them's got like an axe. I think two of them have pipes. And they're just beating the hell out of people. Because that one guy who recognized Nagasuke, he starts like chanting, I'm a hero! And the Yakuza are like, oh, you thought. And they just murder him.
Yep.
You think maybe he could be another supporting character? Nope. I'll say one thing I didn't mention. We didn't mention this when we were talking about the opening, but I liked how it showed mostly all the supporting cast with equal importance.
Yeah.
How it shows them all shadowboxing and the armor flashes over them, and it's like
it could be
anyone. Games afoot.
Yeah.
Could be any of these guys. But, going on to the next episode, that's when we meet Amo's friend... Dai Kanata, who they used to be in the same gang together. And Kanata is still in the gang. He's trying to rise to the top. He's trying to take on the local Yakuza. And did you interpret his relationship with Amo... This is a stupid question coming to you, maybe. But did you interpret it as possibly romantic?
Yeah, it weirdly had that, like, overlayer.
There is something about the way that Kanata... I feel like it's one way, though.
Yeah.
I feel like Kanata definitely has a thing for Amo.
It's not me this time.
The way he...
Look.
It's what I got.
No, I can see... I always think that, but that's just because I've watched so much television growing up where that's always happening. I'm kind of programmed to see it at this point. So I'm trying not to.
Well, I don't know. It's so much that that's your interpretation of it. It's not so much what they intended,
Yeah.
but my interpretation of it is that Kanata does have some sort of romantic feelings for Amo
Yeah.
because of the way he refers to him as a plaything,
Yeah.
and the fact that he doesn't want anyone else touching this guy. He's mine and mine alone.
It's like 10 out of 10.
I mean,
Would watch.
I'm not saying
no one's surprised by this with you.
Nope, shouldn't be. Hey.
Well, that's because it's you.
But yeah, I love the fact that it wasn't just me this time, because I'm sitting here looking at their relationship and I'm just like, yeah, it's like there's a whole
fight, kiss.
But there's like the whole childhood, I guess, aspect in this, and then the way that Dai is just like reacting to a lot of the things that Amo does and how protected they are, and I guess of each other really. It's just this is a thing that's happening.
Right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw it. Anyway, keep going.
But yeah,
how vindicated do you feel?
A lot.
But we move on through the game. We get to when we get to the next game, it's they're in like a warehouse.
Oh yeah, the warehouse episode is amazing.
Where they're in a warehouse, and it's like and Shuka says you will be given an item that can transform into anything you want, and you need to get the key to get out of this. And before this, we learn that Kozuki has something of an affection for another model. Umi.
Yes.
So someone who is much more ahead of them in the modeling world. Turns out they're in the game too.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, when we really start to see Kozuki's true colors.
Yes.
Because he kills him with a ballistic knife.
Yeah, which I thought was so cool.
And because they set it up like Umi has, I think, a sword, like a long sword, and is getting ready to stab him in the back. It's like, oh, I can help you. I'll be able to help you get gigs and stuff.
And then they show that. Like, before that, they were showing that Umi's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that so many fights in this show are out of suit. There's only one suit of fight
almost
that they're in.
Every fight in this show is out of suit.
Yeah. And I'm just like...
And I loved that!
10 out of 10.
I liked it and I didn't like it at the same time because I do have problems with the action in this show.
Some of the action is great depending on the actor, but when you have somebody...
I'm not going to say depending on the actor, just in general. There were problems. No, not why. I don't have a problem with wire work. I have a problem with the fact that I feared for the actor's safety, especially after watching the recap episode, where they talked about how they improvised fights with actual bladed weapons. No. I am afraid for your safety now. And the
Wasn't the knife in that Donnie Yen scene real?
They talk they were talking a lot about it. It's like, so what was it like to choreograph this action scene? What was it like? And they were like, oh, we just kind of improv it. No. I have so many problems with that. As someone who has done stage combat...
In terms of my fear for the actors, I can't make but so my ignorance of their level of training and experience, I have to trust them.
It doesn't matter how much training you are. If all it takes is for one punch to miss and you're in the hospital. All it takes is for one timing miss up, especially since they were improvising. They say this. They improv. They didn't plan it. A lot of the fights.
I know that's something that happens a lot in Eastern cinema, because Marcus and I thought of this exact same scene of Donnie Yen fighting a guy in an alley, and the guy had a knife, and that was entirely...
well, not entirely, but a lot of it was improvised.
By them, but because they're both stunt performers, experienced fighters, the most they cut... Because Donnie had a blunt weapon. Mm-hmm. The most injuries was the other guy is like, my fingers hurt, because he's whacked them. But you have to put if they have the training and they have the experience... You got to put your faith in the actors.
You can have all the training in the world. Anything can go wrong on a set.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is the thing that did happen. It's sort of like when you watch, especially since I'm watching Flashman now, and seeing the stunts that people are getting thrown off of cliffs. These are the actors.
Yeah.
People are getting thrown down cliffs, off of buildings onto stuff. It's just like there are safety precautions in mind, but those safety precautions in the 80s are very different than the ones now.
Yeah.
So,
and also, I don't know if you felt this way, Marcus. Did the fights seem a little too slap happy to you?
How do you mean?
I mean, it didn't seem like there was a lot of thought or effort put. I won't say effort, but a lot of thought put into the blows themselves. It was just a lot of like this, especially in the first couple episodes where Kwon is fighting like the jerkface guy, and he just kind of like slaps him on the back a bunch of times while you hear like stock sound effects go.
That happens a lot in hand-to-hand combat movies, especially with oh god, what was the name of that movie with the guy who in the long hallway elevator or not elevator? He
this is very descriptive.
Yeah, shut up. I know it's like he's storming a building full of bad
Protector.
No,
that does sound like the Tony Jaa scene.
The Tony Jaa scene in the Protector where he's going up the circular staircase
no,
and it's all
but
one shot.
Sort of. This is going to drive me nuts.
But you got tired.
No, he's in a hallway of an apartment building. He breaks open a door.
Boy?
No. Grabs a guy by the head, jumps through the doorway, and shoves his chin onto the...
glass?
No, the wood. The spiked wood.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, God, it's going to bother me. Anyway,
we'll look it up after.
Yeah. Anyway, but... There's movies like that where you'll notice when they're not combating, they're just swinging in the air. It's because either somebody's missed a beat or they need to fill that time with motion with something visual. So they'll just like swing. That might be something that's happening there, is that maybe the actor missed a beat, so he's just slacking.
But it was improv.
Yeah. I will say this, for that, I could sort of give it a pass because they do show explicitly that the strength is enhanced. So that thing is probably still hurting.
But
yes, in the game world, their strength is enhanced, but in the real world, it isn't, and it just looks silly sometimes.
No, I'm not saying it
silly because it's just like slap, can sound effects in the background.
It could have been bad improv, and that was the best take they had, and something like that. And I get that's another risk you take with improv, which is stupid looking moves. But that they chose to do improv, and the director had the ability to go fuck that. Mm-hmm. But he decided to give his actors the freedom to improv the fight scenes, and for the most part, it seemed to work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the most part. Anyway, but enough of that. But getting back to the way the whole get out of the maze in the warehouse is solved, I thought was actually pretty funny. Mm-hmm. It's like you have an item that can turn into anything. One of them just turns it into the key.
Yeah. Actually,
why didn't we do that?
That's cool.
It's cool. And at the very end, he's like, "Oh wait, okay, here we go."
Just turn into
that makes sense.
The moment they're like, "You can become any object you want, but you need to find this key." So turn it to the key. That was literally my first thought.
Well, a lot of the weapons, because they were getting attacked throughout the entire.
Well, yeah, because they all want to be number one. They want to get that golden armor, whatever it does, because they don't really know.
And the horrors are still around.
Yeah,
horrors are still around. They're still hunting them. Numbers are growing thinner by the second. Mm-hmm. And this is also where we find out that if you die in the game, you get Thanos in real life.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
Yes, because Nagabo, it's one of his coworkers, and it's his boss was the other guy. And because his coworker is like, I want out before the round starts, he's like, I want out, get me out of here. It's like, are you sure? Because you can't come back in you cannot get back into the game once we log you out. He's like, I don't care, log me out. I'm like, okay. Shuka points at him, and the guy kind of de-reses, and he's like, he's not in pain or anything. It's just like, he's gone. But Nagasuke survives the second round, and when he put the goggles on, he's in the room. Did you figure the movie out?
The Raid.
Yeah. I thought it was like, it's probably The Raid.
Great movie.
Also, yeah, that is a good movie.
Sorry. I literally had to look it up. This video was going nowhere until I figured that out.
I put this video on.
Pause. My bad.
My words are but dead air.
Anyway.
And I know I did a piss poor job of explaining it.
But yeah, Nagabo ends up coming out of the game.
Yeah, and then he shakes his boss, who gets Thanos, just disappears into dust.
Because his boss got killed earlier.
Yep, and then shakes his coworker, who was just logged out painlessly, and nope, he dead.
No game, no life.
Pretty much.
Pretty good show.
Never saw it.
Neither did I.
Not a show for you.
Not surprised. Anyway.
I was like, no.
But the next couple episodes, we get a little bit more backstory about our characters. We learn more about Kozuki in particular. We learn that when he was a kid, he murdered 3 people.
Yeah.
As you do.
The way that the press ends up reacting.
I was not a fan of how this part of the story was handled.
Same. It bothered me.
Okay, so it's like he goes into work and he sits down with that same like, okay, here's something that just really bugged me. It's a little thing, and I feel like it's a thing that only I would notice. Stop slouching. Kozuki in this scene, every time he was in the scene where it was just the one-on-one scene with him and that woman, they're always like hunched all the way over, forward head, and it was like, I'm like, oh, no, you're a model. You should know better than this. Don't slouch.
At the same time, though, it's like he has 2 separate personalities. They have 2 separate personalities. It's so strange.
I don't know that I want to say separate personalities, but a separate side that they keep hidden.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much that they're 2 drastically different people.
No.
Just that they have like a switch that you can hit and suddenly they're ready to stab you.
Yep.
Which is what they do with the press. Because they find it's like random article in the newspaper, famous genderless model Kozuki is actually boy X who murdered 3 people, 2 students and a teacher. Where are the police? Did the statute of limitations expire? I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know how Japanese system works. I'm not going to pretend I know how the Japanese legal system works. I can only compare this to what I know about the American one. Like, somebody finds out you're a murderer, then chances are the police are going to come knocking, or the FBI is going to come knocking if they find out you're a serial killer.
I think the thing that would have helped that is if they originally got arrested.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
because the press are interviewing him, and there's just microphones and recorders shoved in their face, and it's like, oh my goodness, you killed people. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about being a murderer?
I do love how the speech pattern changes, because as he's a model, it's just like he's very polite, as that polite Japanese speech pattern. Then he becomes a lot more rude. Mm-hmm. Like when people start pissing them off, and I'm just like, I love it. That and then they switch back.
Yeah,
so quickly. I love that.
I think all the acting in this show is very good.
Yeah,
from everyone. One thing we didn't mention is that the lady behind all this,
yes,
she's
Azani.
She is played by Akiba Blue.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
That is her. Okay, I didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
I mean, it's been several years. She grew up.
Yeah, she did. It's good to see her again.
Yeah.
Such high cheekbones. Okay.
A little bit.
Anyway.
But yeah, I really liked her in the show. She was a great villain.
I will say, though, I wish that her and the main bad guy, I wish that they were...
As far as I'm concerned, she's the main bad guy.
She is, because, yeah. But I wish that their episode that came later came earlier.
I was okay with where it came in.
It just felt
because Azami up to this point has just been such a mysterious figure.
Yeah.
But before we learn about them, that's because around episodes 5 and 6 are where we get round 3. Round 3 is where we're back in the same room where we started. There's only a few of us left, not many of us left, and there are like 2 like laser lines.
Yeah.
Show up. It's like you can't cross this, or the horrors will get you. And everyone's like, "Why do we have these collars on?" I really wanted Shizuka to say, "You've seen Battle Royale, right?" same concept, and then just disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you have to kill people before the timer runs out.
Yeah, it's like the number had to be cut in half again.
Yeah, number has to be cut in half again, or your collar goes off and you blow up. Mm-hmm. It's not just your head that blows up like in Battle Royale; it's all of you.
Yeah.
So they're fighting, and previously Azumi bumped into Kwon on the street, used her dark powers to sow some discord in him, which turns him against his friend Hoshiai. Hoshiai, in his moment of vulnerability, gets possessed by a horror, and his collar blows up.
Well, no, he presses the button.
Yeah, he pushes the button.
I love how the person who finds that out is our favorite model, because they're just like, they're fighting against this guy, and they go behind him and see the button. Like, I wonder what would happen if I press this. And so they do. And the guy blows up.
Yep.
And they're like, oh no. I think the thing that made this scene just a little bit heftier is when Amo looks at the horror and it's just like, you know what? Fuck you. And goes outside the line and goes to fight the horror and almost wins until Azumi decides to cheat and make the horror strong.
Yeah. No, you play by my rules.
I think the thing that I didn't recognize, especially because I was not used to seeing her with lipstick, so I didn't recognize that was on.
You're also probably not used to seeing her with her hairstyle this way.
Well, I'm used to seeing her with
dressed this way.
Those drastic bangs, but I recognize her face.
Okay.
So I just wasn't used to the lipstick. Yes. Anyway.
But so our fight goes on, but then we get out.
Actually, before we do that, I do want to talk about Hoshiai's final death scene.
Yeah.
That moment where everybody's telling Kuon that you have to be the one to do this, or rather, he asked for you to do this as he's being taken over by the horror. Mm-hmm. And I love, like you said, those seeds of discord got planted, but they sort of got thrown out. But at the same time, there was just a sense of just, I can't do this anymore from Kuon. And that's when Hoshiai takes him to his hands to press his own button. And he was the last one who had to die.
Yep. And we get what I think was a really well-acted scene where after they get out into the real world again, Kwon immediately picks up his phone, calls Hoshiai, and is like terrified. He's screaming. He's waiting for the answer. He gets one. We see Hoshiai drop his phone, say he says like, "I'm sorry." I think he says like, "Kwon, I'm sorry," and then we just see him fade away as we hear Kwon scream on the other end of the line.
Yeah. I think that was the best way that could have been shot, because I don't think they went back to Kuon for that scene.
No, you just hear him on the phone.
It ends, and I'm just like, that's good cinematography
and
direction.
And after that, that's where we get our origin story for our villain.
Yeah,
and this Garo world as a whole, shall we say? Because many years ago, all of the dark, pretty much. I mean, Japan's far from here, so why not? We had darkness.
That's what I was doing.
That's pretty much what happened. So an unspeakable evil, like all the darkness in the world was stopped from taking over the world by one lone Makai Knight who sacrificed himself. But all the darkness in the world then, instead of being destroyed, hid away inside the womb of that knight's wife, who was pregnant with their child. His wife died sometime later. The baby gets adopted, and this child is Azami, being raised to I suppose become a Makai priestess. Yeah, and so she goes with her current mother, her adopted mother. Who's a Makai priestess, and they go to the Makai Knight training grounds. And it does not take long for Azami to because like her dark side, like we get little hints that like that darkness is coming out, but once she sees that like, oh, these people are strong.
Are they gonna kill each other?
Oh, are they gonna kill each other? I think I might have fun with this.
Yeah.
And she does. She uses her powers, sows that discord again, and what is his name? Shosetsu Hagiri.
Yeah.
The one knight that she chooses to be him to be her champion, so to speak. And she's like, I think I can make this armor stronger, this gold knight armor, if I paint it black.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what she does. I'll infuse it with dark energy, and we learn that that's been the whole purpose of this game.
Because
it
feeds on like negative.
It feeds on negative energy. So we take these 100 people, we take all their negative emotions, we make them kill each other, and
push it into the armor,
and it gets absorbed into the armor, and we will have a dark knight instead.
I do love when like the main Makai priest was trying to stop them, and that huge, ginormous blast that just wipes
because
the mountain and the air behind him out.
Yeah, there's a big hole where a lot of stuff used to be.
This wasn't anime enough. This wasn't anime enough, yeah.
Pretty much. And one of the other Makai Knights of Training survived because we have Nagasuke is going around trying to solve the mystery of what's going on, which I really liked. I liked that one of them was he's got his YouTube audience. We see him stream and trying to, figure it out and get the message out about what's going on.
I think he was the most compelling to watch.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He definitely had the most interesting story, I think, maybe aside from Kozuki.
Yeah.
But so he meets up with the other knight that survived.
Guess who the knight was?
It's an actor we know before. I don't remember who was it.
Joe from Live Man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, it's you! I love you and everything, except you as Ghost Dad. But
Ghost
that's not
Dad.
your fault.
We can't all be winners.
Ghost Dad.
Yes. But then he sadly dies by getting his eyes ripped out
and just like replaced with black ink. And his child finds him.
Oh, it's not so much. It's not just that the child finds him. It's that Azami kills him. Because it's like, oh, you've been hiding because Nagasuke found him. Then she was able to find him. She's like, oh, I have unfinished business with you.
To be fair, it was sort of his fault because he emailed Nagasuke first.
Yeah.
So,
but all the same, it's like found him, plucks his eyes out. We see the aftermath, and then because he lives in a greenhouse, and the kid's like running through the greenhouse, he runs into a zombie. I'm like, is she gonna kill the kid?
I thought that too.
I wouldn't put it past the show. I wouldn't put it past the show.
Nope, just psychological trauma instead.
No, just trauma for life.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But no, it's like,
Fun.
but we see the kid runs past her, and
family picture,
and we just hear the kid like yelling, it's yelling that, and Azami just walks away with a smile on her face.
I'm sitting here like, oh, this show just went there. Oh, okay. Y'all gonna kill Joe from Live Man? Trash. 0 out of 10.
Canceled.
I just love him in everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he was good in the show. For brief as a role as it is, he's good in it.
He's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
Yeah. Anyway.
We move on to the next round.
Oh, the next round is so good.
Where we whittle it down to essentially our last 4 survivors.
No, this is the one before that. The round with the Sword of Darkness.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
after that, we whittle it down to the 4.
Yeah, after that, we whittle it down to the 4.
Because only 4 of them survived this one.
Yeah, but the whole Sword of Darkness thing, because this is where Dai dies.
Yeah, Kanata gets killed.
Because he used the sword, the timer on it ran out. And so Amo was the one who had to kill him.
Yep.
They were both fighting against Rin, the serial killer, before that. He gets the sword.
Which they kill him.
After the fact, because Rin does get his ass beat first.
Oh, yeah.
You don't say.
That's what I came for.
This show is not afraid to let its heroes take a beating.
Or
multiple beatings in this case. Or die.
I did like watching him, though.
Die brutally.
The dude did parkour. it was
It's,
cool to see that.
it isn't just parkour that he did.
It's hardcore parkour.
No, they describe it in the in the behind the scenes. They talk about how it's its own martial art.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of parkour, gymnastics, and I think taekwondo.
Mm.
And he's like a world champion at it.
Really?
Yeah, he's a.
I really need to go and watch the behind.
The dude's a world champion at it. They show him with like belts, so the dude's good at it, and it shows on camera, I believe. And the way he loves to just eviscerate people with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that one thing I thought was a really nice touch, because sometimes when he kills people with a knife, it's like 100. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see like their clothes fly out, like shreds of clothing, and CG blood just going when he's cutting them up. And I'm like, the clothes is a nice touch.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
It
You have to pay
honestly,
attention to detail.
it kind of reminded me, and I know this is out of left field, a character from Heroes, the show.
Mm-hmm.
In season 4, I believe, with the one with the circus, there was a guy whose ability, he was played by the guy who plays Darth Maul under the makeup.
Oh, Ray Park.
Yeah, he was played by Ray Park, and his ability was super speed, but he had knives, so he would literally run
I remember
in,
that guy.
go, and then leave, and you're just eviscerated on the ground. You're like, what happened? I'm dead, but what happened?
What happened to this show? Anyway. Here's it.
But at the end of this round,
Remember when that show ended on a cliffhanger?
we're left with our four
For,
survivors.
10 years.
We're left with our 4 survivors. Well, the writer's strike.
Oh, yeah, that is
That show was hit hard by the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Then it got a sequel.
I never really watched the show, so
I
don't care.
tried to watch that sequel.
It was
It existed.
They couldn't get. I guess they couldn't get the cheerleader back, so they killed her off. And I'm like, wait a minute.
She can't die.
Surprise!
There was a plot explanation for that. We'll get into it.
Okay, moving
Yeah,
on. Moving
sorry.
away from that. Back to this.
I digress.
Anyway, so we're left with our 4 survivors: Kwon, Amo, Nagasuke, and Kozuki.
Semifinals.
No, this is the final round.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
are in the final round. It's you 4. Drop you in a room, a black room. Now fight until all but one of you are dead. And well, let's see, because Nagasuke gets gets possessed.
Yeah.
She uses the same Discord.
She tried.
Sowing darkness.
He tried to fight against her first, like in some underground parking lot.
in a parking lot. In like a parking
that didn't
garage.
work.
I actually really like that fight because she's really good.
Yeah, she is.
And it's just like the way she moves and everything, and the way she is just like completely owning this guy, even though we know he's a good fighter too. It's like, okay, well, she's on another level. Good way to show that.
I guess her character in Akira Ranger wasn't false.
There you go.
That's just her martial arts ability.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, she winds up using her dark powers to possess him and turn him bad, and he winds up killing Kozuki. Yeah. You seem confused.
No, because it wasn't him who fought Kozuki.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was not him. Nagano did not fight Kozuki. It was Amo and Kozuki at the end of it. He fought
Kwon?
Yeah, he fought Kwon.
Sorry, I'm misremembering it then. But either way, this is when because before Kozuki is tragically killed off, because before this we see him launch a fashion line.
Yeah.
They launch a fashion line. And it's like, this is what I want to leave something behind.
Yeah, he wants to be. They want to be remembered.
They want to be remembered, and then we get a little bit more tease of their backstory. They had an abusive mother. They were bullied. They don't really. It doesn't go too much into it, which I actually kind of liked.
Yeah.
I'm okay with them leaving things mysterious and open, but we know that enough trauma happened to make them the way they are.
Yeah. To actually make them commit those moves.
Yeah. And the way they're pleading with Amo, saying, I don't want that bitch to be the last thing I think about before I die. And they're just crying. Kozuki's crying. It's not that this is what really got to me. It's not that they're afraid of death. It's that they're afraid of thinking about their mother before they die.
Yeah.
Because of the trauma that was inflicted upon them when they were young. But it's not to be, sadly.
Yeah, kills him.
Yep, and then Kwon kills Nagasuke. he's unable to bring him back to the side of good.
Well, no.
Right, because
Azami actually ends up getting more or less knocked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kills
Nagasuke.
Yeah.
And then that's when our knight, the Dark Knight, shows up.
Yeah.
What is it?
Hagiri.
That's when Hagiri finally makes his grand entrance. Mm-hmm. And he kills Amo.
Yeah, and I was sad. I loved Amo.
I liked Amo too. I don't know that he deserved to be billed as the co-lead, because like throughout the show it seems like he's given some of the most importance, but he's really not super interesting. He's not bad, but he's like one of the least interesting. I think
that's because of the fact that we went so much, because Nagamo's story was the most interesting one to follow because he was the one solving the mystery.
Yeah.
And then with Kozuki, it's just like this character is so different from pretty much everybody else on the show.
From so many, forget this show, like Toku shows in general.
Yeah.
When was the last time we've ever seen anyone like Kozuki?
Yeah, it's...
Regardless, like, take the non-binary thing out of it, when was the last time we've ever seen a character like that?
Yeah.
Where we see that kind of, like, trauma get brought up, and there's, like, you know, dual sides to their personality, that sort of thing.
And then Kun has the emotional attachment. Mm-hmm. So it's just like Amo didn't have, like, the strength, but he didn't really have a lot to his character. Mm-hmm. But from what we got...
He had to keep dog.
He did. And I'm so upset. It's just like with...
Who's going to take care of the dog?
That was my main question.
Who's going to take care of the dog?
I was sitting here like...
Who's going to feed Kotara?
I hope in season 2, because inevitably...
Yeah, they did. Well, they do leave it open. I don't know how long it'll be before we get one, but...
Probably a year or two. But I hope that Kun's the one who's taking care of the dog.
That'd be nice.
That'd be great. 10 out of 10.
But,
with dog again.
This is when we get our first transformation.
Yeah.
In the final episode...
Where he's given Garo's sword.
He gets because the dark armor is finally complete. Hagiri transforms, and Kwon, as his prize, as promised, gets the golden knight armor.
He wants to protect.
Yep, and they have a fight. It's all CG.
Yeah.
Again, but it wasn't a terrible fight.
Yeah.
Because I mean it was still like it wasn't like it was well animated.
Yeah.
For a Japanese TV show, it's well animated. And one of the things I really liked is because Hagiri is destroying him.
Yeah.
One's getting destroyed, but he gets a second win, and then we see him throughout the remainder of the fight, you change up his fighting style to adopt different styles from the other people that he's fought, because we see he uses Kozuki was very acrobatic. Mm-hmm. So he does like flips and stuff, and like some like parkour and kicks and whatnot. Amo was a wrestler, so we see him like suplex Hagiri, which is awesome. And that was one of the things I loved about Amo was his fighting style.
Yeah,
where he's just like suplexing dudes and just throwing them around. That was awesome. But yes, so Hagiri is defeated. Mm-hmm. The sword of Garo is stuck in the ground. Mm-hmm. Azami walks up to the battered and bruised Kwon and is like, all right, I guess that's it. On to the next one.
Just like, you bitch, I love you, but you bitch.
So she's still out there. Our main villain is still out there.
Which is really what sets it up for season 2.
This is kind of like a one rung above the ending of Jenga, where it's not quite Darkest Timeline.
But it's up there.
But it's because, she's pretty freaking evil.
Yeah.
And she's still out there, but Kwon doesn't take the sword.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a problem with that.
I think he's just tired.
I understand that he's tired, but she's still out there.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just going to come back to bite him in some way.
But at the same time, it's just like this leaves us open for a whole new set of characters, a whole new protagonist, a whole different type of game.
I don't really want them to do that. I kind of want them to bring him back.
I mean, he'll probably be in there. But it's just like,
I kind of hope he stays the lead. I mean, I hope they do. Because I liked his character. I'd like to see where you can go with this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the knight, the Garo armor, it shows him. He was the winner, so it's his now. So the armor could always find its way back.
Yeah, but who knows? Exactly, because, I mean, of course it ends up coming down to, like, DVD sales and things like that. But I really the show does get a season 2. It's very good.
Those don't really make a lot of money, though, so.
I think it's different for the Japanese market.
It could, well, maybe, but generally speaking, they don't make as much as they used to.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Streaming services and things like that.
Yes, exactly. But I do like the final shot of the show where it's that overhead shot of him just walking in the snow back to civilization. While the sword is just stuck in the ground. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's Garo VR.
It does not end on a happy note.
Everybody's
dead.
It ends on, I think, a bittersweet note because, Hagiri is defeated. So Azami does have to go out there and find some new plaything to possess and manipulate. We'll see what happens when they bring her back. Hopefully they do. Mm-hmm. But that's the show.
Yeah.
And
it's very different.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about the show, I cannot begin to describe how much of a breath of fresh air this was for the Toku medium as a whole. Mm-hmm. Because you and I, we talked during our Taiga review, our Ultimate Taiga review, and also our Z First Impressions, on how so many shows seem to just keep falling back on their laurels over and over again. Especially Ultraman, where it's like they can't seem to move on from certain formulas and certain ways of doing things, certain plot devices or monsters, what have you. And then along comes Garo VR.
Yeah.
Nobody henshins until the final episode.
And it's so good.
I love that. Every other show needs to watch this and take notes. I would... Like, if we had a Sentai or a Kamen Rider where nobody henshined until, like, episode 12 or 10, I'd love that. That is something I'd like to see them try. I want to see them take that kind of a risk. I didn't say they'd do it. I said I want to see it.
I think it's a different medium in there, but in some cases it's just like or it's just there's so much regret with the act of transformation. Because to get to that point, he had to sacrifice so much. It reminded me really enough just like a lot of Kuga at the end of it. Just because of how dark that story got and how he was just so powerful, but he was scared of his own power and he did not want to use a lot of it. Right. So it's just like, that's the things I sort of like to see. I like to see that moral quandary happen. And Kuon definitely had that.
I loved how character focused the show was.
Yeah.
And I liked the characters.
Yeah.
The action is hit or miss. Some scenes some is good, some is bad, but it's man.
I feel like
this was just so refreshing.
I feel like we don't have to do anything on the characters because we talked about them.
We talked about them a lot.
About this. But yeah, this show is very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It was very different to see it, especially after coming off of watching the movie, the last Garo movie, which was a culmination of 15 years of Garo. But yeah, it was very great to see something like this, and I really hope that a season 2 happens. I hope we end up getting another series of the anime that isn't season 2.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but like I texted you, like this is one of my new favorite shows.
Maybe.
I thought the show was fantastic.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you. What did you think?
Like I said, that may have been on the previous cut. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was good. It was. I'm glad of the length that it was. It really didn't waste any time.
It was as long as it needed to be.
Yeah, it didn't waste time.
It's all killer, no filler.
But I'm
another thing that I loved.
Really, really tired of the battle royale aesthetic. Let's go with that word.
Really? Well, that's video games.
Yeah,
this is a completely different medium, different shit. Like Toku has never done anything battle royale like this.
No, but as a
they did.
When
the Super Sentai Strongest Battle thing was battle royale.
Valid.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about like as far as the show.
Yeah,
like the entire show's premise.
And it doesn't matter the medium. I never cared for the aesthetic before Fortnite.
Well, it's not really an aesthetic as so much as a plot device.
That's fair.
I mean, if you were going to do a season 2, how would you do that one?
For what, Garo VR?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying
there's a lot of genres.
I'm not saying it didn't work, and I honestly wouldn't know, and I am not in the mental capacity to do that thinking right now.
Next season will be Dragon Quest or a Yakuza game.
Turn-based.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to see a show with turn-based combat.
I think there is one like that where it's a Dragon Quest inspired show that Overtime subbed. It's just like that. I just want to watch it at some point. It's a turn-based random live action show that's a comedy, and I really want to watch it at some point.
Like all the Vines and TikToks, it's like, all right, I attack, and then it's your turn. Like, why would we do that? Those are the rules.
I'd love to see that.
Why would I wait for you to attack me? Because those are the rules.
I'm out of MP. Use an ether, but you can't buy ethers. But it's the final battle, but I only have 85 of them.
Oh god!
Thank you, ProZD.
I would like to see. I don't know how I would like to see the season 2 done, but yeah, I don't think they should do Battle Royale again.
I don't care how they do season 2 as long as they do it, because I want to see where this goes.
As long as it stays in the same vein. I would like it. Weirdly enough, I would like a little bit more psychological horror, similar to Nexus at the beginning, where you find out that the girlfriend's been dead the entire time.
You know, this is a show that I would favorably compare to Nexus in that Nexus when we watched it was such a breath of fresh air for me compared to the crap that we'd been watching where it was just same old every time.
Yeah.
And
no, I get that.
Yeah.
Oof.
Good stuff.
That won't help for the next one. The next review that we do, number 96.
Which is?
Zoojer.
Which is Zoojer. Well, no, because we have comics next.
Right, we do have a comics
We're
next.
doing Beyond the Grid next.
We are doing... Oh, God, that's not much better.
So, hold on.
Beyond the Grid, Zoojer, in comparison between...
Nope, there's no comparison.
Go Busters and...
Oh, right, we can actually do that now. So, yeah, that'll end up being afterwards, I guess.
So, hold on. So Ghost is going to be episode 99.
Yes.
I don't know. I find that funny. I don't know why. I find that hilarious.
97. 98.
Oh, wait, because... Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
Damn it. Damn it.
You're so close.
You get so far away.
What's
Ghost will end up being later.
But thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
And join us in 2 weeks for Beyond the Grid.
Mm-hmm.
We'll follow us on all the things first, and then we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.